Everyone at the gym had their eyes on him. Marcus Ray, the undefeated MMA champion with $1 million smile and a long list of endorsements. Known for his flashy lifestyle and knockout punches, he strutted into the gym like he owned the place. People whispered, phones came out, and even trainers paused their sessions to sneak a glance. Then, in the corner of the room, he noticed her. Quiet, focused, dressed in old sneakers and a plain hoodie. Nothing about her screamed fighter. She was just there to train. No spotlight, no ego. Marcus laughed under his breath. What's she doing here? He muttered loud enough for others to hear. Some chuckled along, but she didn't even flinch. She kept wrapping her hands, her expression calm, eyes locked on her own reflection, not his. He walked by, tossing a smirk. Her. Way, hey, you here to take selfies or actually hit something? The room tensed. She looked at him once, just a glance, and went back to shadowboxing. Like his words meant nothing. But here's the thing about underestimating people. It's a dangerous game. What no one knew, including Marcus, was that this simple woman had a past, a quiet storm built on years of disciplined training, underground fights, and silent battles no one ever saw. She wasn't here for fame. She wasn't here to prove anything. She was here for one reason only, and Marcus had just unknowingly stepped right into it. The next morning, during a sparring demo at a local event, fate or maybe karma paired them together. At first, people thought it was a joke. The crowd laughed, expecting a quick tap-out. Even Marcus smiled as he put on his gloves, clearly not taking it seriously. But when the bell rang, everything changed in an instant. 10 seconds later, the room was silent. Someone hit the mat, and it wasn't her. What happened in those 10 seconds left everyone stunned, including Marcus. And as she stood there, calm and steady, one thing was clear. This wasn't just a lucky punch. It was something much deeper. Something Marcus and the world never saw coming. The room was frozen. Even the loudest fans were silent, mouths open, eyes locked on the mat. Marcus Ray, champion, celebrity, and the face of a dozen sports brands, was lying flat, dazed, and confused. And standing above him was the same woman he mocked just yesterday. Breathing steady, eyes calm, like nothing surprising had just happened. No celebration, no taunting. She simply stepped back and waited for the referee to check on him. Whispers spread fast. Who is she? Where did she learn to fight like that? Even the event organizers looked at each other, unsure of what they'd just witnessed. Some thought it had to be fake, a stunt. But there was no acting in the way Marcus struggled to sit up. No script in the shock written all over his face. Her name was Ava. Not many people knew it. But a few trainers in the city didn't. They knew better than to underestimate her. She wasn't on social media. She didn't have sponsors or flashy gear. But she had scars, both seen and unseen. Years ago, she was on her way to becoming a rising star in amateur MMA. That was before a personal tragedy forced her to step away, disappear from the fight scene, and focus on healing in silence. But the fighter in her never faded. Every morning before the sun rose, she trained. While others chased fame, she chased clarity. While others showed off online, she worked in silence. That gym where Marcus mocked her, it wasn't her first. It wasn't her last. It was just another stop on the long road back to the cage. No one expected her return, especially not Marcus. But now the question hanging in the air wasn't just about what happened. It was why she was backhand, what she was really fighting. 4. The footage of Ava knocking out Marcus spread like wildfire. Within hours, clips were everywhere: social media feeds, sports blogs, MMA forums. Some claimed it was edited. Others said Marcus must have slipped. But those who were in the room knew the truth. No fancy angles, no camera tricks. just a clean, perfectly timed strike. People started asking questions. Who was this mystery woman? And why wasn't she already signed to a major fight league? Marcus, meanwhile, disappeared from the public eye. His team released a short statement calling the match a light sparring incident taken out of context. But behind the scenes, things weren't so simple. Sponsors started pulling back. Some fight promoters began to reconsider future bookings. And Marcus, once the king of the cage, found himself stuck in a spiral of ego and doubt. He replayed the moment over and over in his mind, how fast she moved, how he never even saw it coming. But Ava didn't care about the spotlight. She went back to training, just like always, still silent, still focused. She didn't respond to interview requests or messages from managers. She didn't want fame. But there was one person she did want to see, an old mentor who vanished from her life years ago, after a falling out with the same fight world that had now come knocking again. Word had spread to him too, and he knew if Ava was back in the game, something serious was driving her. Meanwhile, inside fight circles, the pressure was building. Fans were demanding a rematch. Some wanted to see Marcus redeem himself. Others just wanted to see if Ava could do it again. Promoters saw dollar signs. But there was more at stake than just money or revenge. Marcus had something to prove, had something to protect, and as both of them prepared for what was coming. The question wasn't who would win, but what each of them would lose when the truth finally came out. The pressure was reaching a boiling point. Fight fans were restless. Promoters were circling like sharks, and online debates raged every day. Was Ava just a one-hit wonder? Did Marcus lose focus? Or was this something much deeper, something that went beyond just another fight? The buzz kept growing, and soon enough, it was official. A public rematch, sanctioned, broadcasted, and this time, there would be no excuses, no light sparring, no way to hide behind PR teams. The date was set, the venue sold out within hours, and the media flooded both camps with questions. Marcus kept his responses short. He looked different, leaner, quieter, more serious. No more flashy videos, no more jokes, just sweat, tape, and silence. Deep down, he wasn't just training to win. He was trying to recover a piece of himself that got shattered that day. But still, part of him didn't fully understand what he was up against. He thought he was preparing for a fight. Ava was preparing for something else. Her training was quiet and brutal. Every move, every breath had a purpose. She trained not just her body, but her mind. Late at night, alone in the gym, she went over the past, not just the day Marcus mocked her, but everything that came before it. The choices she made, the people she lost, and the promise she once gave to someone who believed in her before anyone else did. That promise was still unfulfilled. This fight was never about revenge, was about finishing what she started. As fight night approached, tension crackled in the air. The arena was packed, lights blinding, commentators buzzing with speculation. But backstage, in the quiet just before the storm, both fighters were alone with their thoughts. One trying to rewrite his legacy, the other trying to reclaim her truth. No one knew what was about to happen, but everyone could feel that this wouldn't be just another MMA bout. It would be the moment everything changed. Just minutes before the walkouts, the energy backstage shifted. Whispers started among officials. Phones lit up. A delay was suddenly announced, confusing the crowd and setting social media on fire. Something wasn't right. In the locker room, Ava sat silently, hands wrapped, eyes closed. She could feel that something had changed. Moments later, her trainer walked in, face tight with concern. He handed her a phone. On the screen was a video. Recently leaked and already spreading, it was security footage from the gym, dated weeks before her first encounter with Marcus. It showed her in a private sparring session with a Manolder, rough around the edges but skilled. The video was edited to make it look like Ava had been secretly preparing for Marcus, studying his fight style, planning that knockout. It was being spun as a setup, as if her first victory wasn't skill, but sabotage. The man in the video, her old mentor, the one who walked away from the fight world years ago under mysterious circumstances. Now, the narrative had flipped. Commentators on live broadcasts started speculating. Did Ava cheat? Was the first knockout a trap? Marcus's team jumped on it immediately, accusing her of manipulating the rematch to destroy his image. The tension exploded. What was supposed to be a night about two fighters became a storm of controversy, betrayal, and broken trust. But Ava knew the truth. That footage was real, but the story around it was not. The training was personal. The mentor was the one who once saved her career, and the session wasn't about revenge. It was about healing, facing her past, and finding her way back. Someone had twisted that moment, turned it into fuel for drama, and dropped it right before the fight. Now the stakes weren't just about the belt or the crowd. It was about her name, her purpose, and everything she stood for. She stood up, looked in the mirror one last time, and breathed deep. The arena waited. The crowd roared. This fight was no longer just about her and Marcus. It had become something much bigger and far more dangerous. The lights dimmed. The announcer's voice echoed, and the fighters made their way to the ring. The crowd was buzzing, not just with excitement, but confusion and divided opinions. Some cheered Ava. Others booed, still unsure what to believe after the leaked video. Marcus stood in his corner, fists clenched, eyes locked on her. This time, there was